Okay, so I'm going to kind of pick you up where I left off at. Now I've got my kit pretty much tore down pretty good. This is the pinion gear that came out of the original setup, and I cleaned it up real nice. I took the bearing off. I took that shim out because that's the shim that I wanted. It was 38 thousandths. Now this kit does come with some shims. And you can't see them until you take it all apart, but that's what they look like. If you need to shim your pinion out towards your ring gear, then you'll have to shim it. So what I've done is I have bearings like these two bearings here, okay? I have these bearings and I hone the inside of them. These are press on, okay? These are the brand new ones, okay? And I bought 2 extra brand new bearings that I keep in my little extra spares kit. And those bearings fit on here kind of snug. They don't fit on there real tight, but they fit on here. And so the measurement that we're trying to make with those bearings is not on the center, even though they are a little tight, and it might affect it, but a very small amount. And so this bearing here as well, this bearing here is not much of a press on as this one is. This one here is really tight, but this one here, it comes out. You could use an impact driver to push that out just with a pin or something, or a puller, whatever way you want to do it. But anyway, I'm not talking about that. So if you could get it to this point, I'm just trying to catch you up with my method because I don't have a special tool to measure this depth. Okay, so I'm going to get those bearings, I'm going to put it together and take it apart a bunch of times. And the part that I'm doing right now is that I'm setting my preload right now. Okay, so when I took this apart, I got my crush sleeve out, I measured my crush sleeve, I made me a stack with my spacer that's close to it. Now this is what the crush sleeve looks like. I'm not going to use a crush sleeve, I'm going to use a spacer. So I'm working on my spacer right now and my preload. So this is how things look, okay? We've got our lock nut, we've got our 1 1/4 here, something to measure the shims with. And I've kind of got these laid out a little bit, you know, like these are 10s, maybe a 10 and a 9, and one of them is quite thick and one of them is quite thin. I think this is a 20. One of them is 20 thousandths and one of them is 7. Okay, 7 or 9, something like that. So what I've got is I've measured my crush sleeve, okay, and it's in there right now. Measured the crush sleeve and added 7 thousandths, put it all together, torque it, check my preload. So that's where we're at right now. And I've done it a couple of times and I'm about to increase it from 7 to a bit more, maybe 10 or so, because it's a little bit too tight. We want our preload to be 10 inch-pounds, 10 to 12, somewhere in that range, maybe a little bit more. These are new bearings. The old bearings will run 6 or 7 inch-pounds. So you have to have an inch-pound torque wrench. Okay, now the gradient on this goes up to 250, so it's really not sensitive enough for this, but it works good enough for me. If you want to buy one of these or find one that has a scale from, you know, from 0 to 150 or something. That way you can get a nice reading. It's easier to read. That's the idea behind that. So also don't put your seal on yet because this is going to come apart and go together several times. So let's get this thing apart and have a look. All right, so I hope everybody can see enough of this for it to be of value. I'm not really trying to do a step-by-step, but I do want to demonstrate this so that someone can see, you know, exactly the process. And this may not be the perfect way to do it, but this is just how I do it. So let's get this guy loose here. Let's see, it was a little tight, so it was probably maybe 25 or 30 inch-pounds with the current shim I've got in there. So see, I've got this bearing here and I hone the inside out so it'll come out without me having to beat the tar out of it. And we've got our shim in there, so we'll fish him out. Of course, nothing ever fishes out easily when you're trying to do a video, right? There we go. Okay, so I don't need the sleeve. I don't need that to come out. And it's not a crush sleeve, it's just a spacer. I call it a sleeve, but it's just a spacer. And so we've got our shim. All right, and we'll let this set because there's no way we'll keep that in the right spot. Just let it set. And so let's see here. That's what the shim looks like. It's too tight. Let's have a look at this. Brother. All right, so yep, that one's 7. So we need to be a little bit thicker than that. Let's try a 9 or a 10. Let's see how that goes. All right, so I've got one that measures 10. So we'll put this back together. Turn that thing off. All these things do is eat the batteries up. And we'll get this little feller set on there. There we go. Put that on there. There. We're just gonna set this together temporarily. Have a quick look at it. And I've cleaned everything on this so that it goes together and comes apart easily. Otherwise, you're gonna be fighting it the whole way. So, all right. So I'm gonna tighten this up a bit. It's a lock nut. I think the thread pitch on this is 1.75. So if you drop it, or if you hit the threads or something like that, you'll have to get a thread chaser with a 1.75 pitch on it. Tighten that up. This camera's in the way. I can't do it with the camera here. So I got it pretty close. I've zeroed out my torque meter. And let's see, put it on there and give it a spin. And that'll probably be pretty good. That's about 14, maybe 15 inch-pounds. And that's going to work out just fine for a new bearing. Okay, this is it's all new races and everything. So just kind of get a feel of that, and I see where we're at right now is that we've set the preload on our bearing and we're using a shim. So we're done with that. But we're not done messing around with this. I'm going to leave it like it is. I'm going to build my carrier and get it all ready and install it. And then I'll have to run, it has a 38,000 shim in it now. And then I'll run the marking compound on it, look at my pattern, and see where we're at. If I need to move this towards it, or move things around a little bit, then I take this back apart, pull that shim out, add or subtract from it. So I put it back together where it was from the factory. The chances are real good that it's very close, if not spot on. So we'll just have to see how it goes. I'm gonna stop this video where it's at here for part 2 and just say that, you know, we've done our crush sleeve eliminator kit, and we've shimmed it and everything. We've got the right preload, so we're done. All right, I hope this helps someone. Have a good day.